As I said in my speech at the NUSS, the PAP claimed its mandate and then continued to raise prices, and the people continued to live in hardship and frustration. I have heard, even from opposition members, that the voters, 66% of them voted for the PAP. What does the opposition want? Now, this completely ignores the fact that the election system here is engineered to ensure PAP's victory. Lee Kuan Yew himself admitted as much. Elections, in case anyone forgets, are not for the ruling party to engineer. They are for parties to participate in on equal terms. Lee Kuan Yew said that he would even send in the army if there is a freak election, meaning that if his party loses. His son, Lee Hsien Loong, said that he would have to buy votes and fix the opposition if more opposition MPs get into parliament. Now, with all of this, are we still to believe that elections are the way forward if we want meaningful political change? Don't get me wrong, elections are the only way to organize society, a democratic society, that is. A society where people can vote freely, where the media are not controlled by one party, and where the police don't arrest people from speaking and protesting in public. But none of these conditions exist in Singapore. And until we achieve these, we are kidding ourselves if we believe that we can make significant inroads just by taking part in the elections once every 5 years. We have to stop lying to ourselves and stop living in fantasy. The hard, unvarnished truth, if we have the eyes to see it and the honesty to admit it, is that the way the system is right now, the opposition is not going to make any meaningful headway. We need to work for reform first. Reform of the election process, reform of the media, and reform of the judiciary. We need to work to empower our citizens, and that is to wrestle back for them their freedom of speech and the freedom of peaceful assembly. Now, if you are an observer of history, you will note that no authoritarian regime has ever been voted out of power. It just doesn't happen. Dictatorships will always manipulate the election system to ensure not only that they win the elections, but they crush their opponents at the polls. This is exactly what the PAP has been doing all these years. They give out shares and money just before polling day, threaten the voters with HDB upgrading, introduce the GRC system, prosecute the opposition for speaking to voters, and if all else fails, sue. And after they've bribed and intimidated the voters sufficiently, they allow them to go to the ballot box. And after that, they claim that they have the mandate and then carry on things as usual. No. We must not be fooled by this. So how are we going to solve this problem? By making sure that the reforms are instituted. And how do we bring about these reforms? The only way is through the people engaging in peaceful assembly. I'd be the first to admit that this is a long and arduous process. Let us not kid ourselves. But the goal of getting enough people to peacefully protest for free and fair elections is not an impossible one. It is very achievable if only we would stop telling ourselves that this tactic cannot work in Singapore. And when these reforms are in place, the playing field will be level, And when that happens, I assure you, the Singapore Democrats will play a major role in Singapore's politics. But what's the future of the Singapore Democrats? Isn't Lee Kuan Yew and Lee Hsien Loong suing the party, you ask? And won't they bankrupt the party and wind us up? I say let them. Because the party is only a vehicle, and the vehicle is not what is most important. What is most important is the people who drive the vehicle. You can deregister a party, but can you deregister the people behind the party? Wind us up. Go ahead. We will find another vehicle to take us where we want to get to. And we will get to our destination. If not under the SDP, then under any other organization. But make no mistake, get there we will. And if they want to wind us up, they will have to wind up a party that is revitalized and resurgent. But whatever battle we have to face, and whichever difficulty we have to overcome, one thing that we must acknowledge is that there is no shortcut. Let us resist the temptation of immediate gratification. Let us be ever more resolute in facing this dictatorship and to stand up to the cowardly regime. I say cowardly because the PAP doesn't want to debate, because it knows that it cannot win on logic, on reasoned argument, and on the facts. It can only win by silencing the SDP and cutting us off from the people by banning public speeches and blacking out our news in the local media, which has been doing all this while. But how long can that last? Even the most tyrannical of governments will eventually collapse. There will come a time when our dream of a free, democratic, and equitable Singapore will come true. And we will eventually taste that sweet success of our sacrifice. But until then, let us live up to our name of the Singapore Democratic Party and face the regime like men and women of honor and serve this nation with courage and distinction. We stand at the gates of authoritarianism and we knock. And we will continue to knock until the PAP opens the door and heeds the will of the people. So take courage, my fellow Democrats. Steel yourselves. And let us renew our pledge to follow this noble cause of justice and democracy. Have no fear, because we are on the right side of history. Thank you, and God bless.